Here, let me just move the thing over so it's not getting so much. All right, I'm having a minor issue, and maybe there's some way to fix it. So maybe someone out there has an idea. So I've got this boat, right? It's an electric boat. It has 4 solar panels on the roof. It's right outside, and the solar panels are a low enough voltage that they're not sufficient to charge the battery. So I have like a big 24-volt lithium iron phosphate battery in this boat, and the solar panels on it are they max out at like 27, 28 volts, which is not sufficient voltage to charge the battery, right? So the solution was at least to get, hey, Mr. Landfill, how's it going? So the solution, you want me to start again since you're here? All right, let me start again. Okay, Mr. Landfill, I've got this boat, right? My little white boat, and it has 4 solar panels on it, and it now currently has a big lithium iron phosphate battery on it, a 24-volt one, which is actually like 25.6 volts or 26, whatever volts. Now the solar panels on top of it max out at like 28 volts, something like that. So they don't have sufficient voltage to charge that battery. And I would like to have at least one of them charging the battery, and the rest I can just run to the motor. So the solution, I thought, was to get an MPPT charge controller, because then I can connect 2 solar panels in series and get almost like 50 whatever volts. And then the 50 whatever volts can go through the MPPT charge controller and charge the battery, right? Who's that? Who just got here? Classic dude Mike. Maybe you have a solution for this. I don't know if you watched from the beginning. Anyway, so I'm trying to charge this battery with solar panels that don't have high enough voltage. And I thought if I got one of these, it's an MPPT charge controller. And it says, I got it on Amazon, and it says it will do lithium batteries. However, yes, oh no, Space Jew, oh no. So to set this to charge lithium batteries, I need this Bluetooth dongle. It doesn't come with the Bluetooth dongle. So I'm sitting here with this thing that's just it's a paperweight right now. And so annoying. So I'm presuming the default settings are for lead acid batteries. And if it's set to charge a lead acid battery and I connect it to this lithium battery, then it may overcharge it. This is what I'm hearing on the internet, at least. Hopefully the BMS on the battery would protect it, but I don't want to just rely on that. I want the freaking charge controller to do the right thing. So anyway, I've got this charge controller that is default set to charge lead acid batteries, and I need it to charge lithium batteries. And there are no buttons. There are no buttons anywhere on this thing. The way you change the settings is you plug in a Bluetooth dongle that doesn't come with it. And I did look up this Bluetooth dongle, even though if I ordered it, it would take like a month to get here. And it's like $50. This thing was only like $75. Like I might as well just get a new charge controller of some kind. So that's the hiccup I just ran into. I mean, this won't be garbage. I could still use it to charge some lead acid batteries for some other thing. It's just the thing I'm trying to do. Yes, it's set to lead acid. At least that's what I understand the default to be. Although it has this little jumper here, and I don't know if you can see it, but it's just like a little jumper, and it can connect some of the pins in this little thing. I was hoping that if I switched the jumper around, it would switch the settings possibly to something lithium compatible. However, the instruction manual is so confusing. God, I've read great things about these Victron guys, but their instructions are horrible. Like the instruction manual, it's really just, I don't know if a drunk person wrote it or what. Like I have no idea what this jumper, it basically does nothing useful, I think. But it was pretty confusing. And oh wait, what are you saying? Sealed lead acid to be correct. Okay, let me see what, maybe you guys have some kind of input here. A Bluetooth dongle for charging, just because they want to charge you for something else, or do you think it has a real purpose? No, the Bluetooth dongle is so you can change the settings on this thing. I guess they did that so they could save a button. Like, oh God. Like if it just had a button, I could just do it right now. Like just change the setting. But no, I just installed a Reggie one, but that one was a PWM charge controller on my other boat. And I look in the instructions, it says hold down the button. Okay, so I hold down the button, it starts blinking. Okay, this is about to blink. Then I change the setting to lithium, done, right? But this frickin' thing, it's just overcomplicated. It's too complicated. Why is there no button? There should be a frickin' button so I can just be like, change the settings. But there's not. So you have to have this $50 Bluetooth dongle to do anything. And now the newer versions of these have Bluetooth built in, from what I understand. And I was looking on their website, and people have asked and complained about this, but haven't really gotten any useful answers. I'm not impressed with their customer service either. I emailed them. I mean, maybe I'll get an answer back. But like, I'm tempted to just open this thing up and see if there's any kind of setting on the inside I can change. I don't care about the warranty. I just want it to freaking work, So anyway, now I'm left with a few choices. Maybe I'll get lucky. I did post something on a local Facebook group asking if anyone has the dongle that goes with this. So, I mean, maybe I'll get lucky and some guy in a sailboat somewhere is like, oh yeah, come on over. I'll fix the settings for you. That would be nice, but I'm not going to count on that. So my choices are order a different MPP charge controller or do something different. I don't have any other MPP charge controlling stuff. Everything else I have is PWM, the pulse width modulation. It's like the older style because it's simpler, it just works, it's cheaper, it's less stuff to break. All this like super high tech stuff where they're like maximum efficiency, so many features and all this stuff. I'm always like, dude, give me like 90% of the functionality and just have it work. Just make it function. Make it so it doesn't break. That's what I want. I want it to not break and I want it to do what it says. That's all. I don't care if it's got like an extra 2 or 3% of efficiency. No, I just want the friggin' thing to work and not break and just it actually work and not need extra pieces and all this extra crap. Like I just want the friggin' thing to work, It's just too complicated. Anyway, so I'm thinking about my options here. I could swap out one of the solar panels on the boat, which would be kind of a big ordeal because they're going to be different size solar panels and they're not going to fit right. And the other one, the one that I would that I would put there, weighs a lot more, and it's a small boat. I don't want to put a bunch of extra weight on. So I don't really want to change the solar panel. I mean, it's still kind of an option in my head, but I'd really rather do something else. Another option is just charge the boat when I'm parked. So I can set up a little charging station here, and whenever I park the boat, I can plug it into whatever. That's not an optimal solution either. It's kind of super annoying because, I mean, one, I have to do something. And two, like if I'm out somewhere, I can't, like it's so much nicer to be able to charge when I'm parked in some place. Because if I drive all the way to town and then I'm parked there for 3 hours, it would be nice if the boat was charging in the sun while it's sitting there. Otherwise, if I'm just charging, yeah, so just charging when I'm home, that's a suboptimal solution. Swapping out a solar panel sounds better, but it adds a bunch of weight to the boat that I'd really rather not have. And did you just disconnect? This thing just disconnected for a second. Okay, let me see. Jump the wires. Get a hack. Is it set to lead acid? Yeah, you can charge it with lead acid, no problem. So I can charge the lithium iron phosphates with lead acid, no problem. Is that true? Lithium iron phosphate is the exact same voltage as lead acid. I've read that during the what's it called? The float part of the charge, it could damage the lithium batteries. Is that true, or will it be fine? Like I originally thought it would be fine, but then I was like, before I do that, I want to check. So I looked on the internet and it's all like, don't do it. Your batteries are going to explode. You know, same as lead acid. Sealed lead acid to be correct. Flooded lead acid is slightly higher voltage. So that's, I don't know if it's set for sealed lead acid or flooded lead acid. It could be either. Charge controllers often have two settings. Yeah, I can't get to any settings. The only settings I can access are whatever this little jumper here does. And I did read what it says for the jumper positions, and it just said something about the low voltage disconnect, nothing about the charging. So I don't even know if it changes the charging voltage or anything. A cheap Renogy controller gives you the options. Is it an MPPT one though? Oh, that is such a drag. Why can't they just use dip switches? Those dip switches, just anything, you know, anything. Like I'd be happy to open the stupid thing up and move some jumpers around, just like, you know, used to do on the old desktop computers. I don't know if they still do that, but just like give me the ability to do it without having to get more stuff. And the really silly thing is, like, with solar stuff, you have to presume a lot of times people are going to be getting stuff when they're out in the middle of nowhere. They're not near a store or some place where they can just get a shipment in real quick or anything. And, you know, this is the exact situation I'm in. I mean, it takes me like a month to get anything here. So I have this thing and, annoying. I've got a Morningstar MPPT. It's okay. Let's see. They got you by the dongle. Oh, yes, they got me by the dongle. Very good, Keith. Just hook it to the rig, maybe to self-correcting. Okay, here's the thing. This is like $1,000 battery. I'm not like screwing around because I can't afford to buy one. I mean, I could afford to buy one, but it's kind of outside my comfortable budget of stuff to buy. I'm not risking destroying $1,000 battery because I'm just going to be careless or impatient, whatever. No, I need to make sure I don't break it. The charge voltage is the same voltage. The nominal voltage is higher. The charge voltage for sealed lead acid and LiFePO is the same. Yeah, so I don't even know if where's the little book? Let me get the little book. Hold on. Where is this little book? So they've got the instructions in like 8 different languages. It would be nice if they just had it more clear. Oh, and the type is tiny. Look at that, tiny little words. All right, battery voltage. Where's the voltage settings? Peak efficiency. Low voltage disconnect. I don't care about that. Okay, charge voltage on the float, 27.6 volts, adjustable. Well, great. It doesn't matter to me if it's adjustable because I can't adjust it. All right, if the charge voltage is 28.8 volts, I think that might be all right. The charge voltage for equalization. Yeah, I'm not turning on. Luckily, equalization is not enabled, so that's nice. Deep by default. Okay, charge voltage for the float is 27.6. Maybe I can use this thing. All right, smarty pants who know about this stuff. Oh, can I even get this in? It's not going to be able to be clear enough, is it? All right, who's like the super nerd about batteries and charging them and stuff? Who knows what voltages are going to be okay? I mean, I can look at the. I don't have the documentation for the battery. I have to look it up online. But the charge voltage for the absorption is 28.8 volts. The charge voltage for equalization doesn't matter. The charge voltage for float is 27.6. That might be all right, actually. I don't know. I don't want to risk blowing the battery. Looks good. Order another one. The charge voltage is the same voltage. The nominal voltage is higher. The charge voltage for, let's see. Come on, go to the bottom. All right. Maybe as long as you monitor it. I can't monitor it all the time. That's the problem. I can't sit there watching it. That'll defeat the point of having a charge controller. And know the battery voltage as it is charging, you should be able to just disconnect when it reaches your desired voltage. Yeah, but like, I've actually done that, manually charged batteries and just had a switch for on and off for the solar panels. But that defeats the point of having a charge controller. I did that when a charge controller broke, and I, had to do that for a while. Actually, I didn't have to, but anyway. Fancy batteries have a BMS. It probably won't let you F up. Yeah, I mean, it should. All right, Mr. Landfill is only a hobbyist solar. Okay, let's see. More like mad scientist solar. Yeah, I need someone who's like not too mad scientist. I'm mad scientist too. I need someone who's got the information. Okay, 24 volt LiFePO is what, 8 cells, 3.2 volts per cell, 3.2. I have the numbers for a similar battery. This isn't the same one, but it's got the same specs pretty much. Nominal voltage 25.6. Where's the charging voltage? Okay. Okay, charging. Oh, I got two stupid books here. This is not the correct battery, but it's a very similar one. Okay. Absorption voltage 28.8. Oh my gosh, this one says 28.82, doesn't it? Yep, 28.8. All right, where's the float voltage? 27.6. This one does not have float voltage because you're not supposed to float volt you're not supposed to float the lithium batteries. Is that right? Yeah, I think that's the problem, is that I don't want it to float the lithium batteries. So I think that's the main difference. Recommended charging voltage between 28.4 and 29.2 volts. Oh, crap. I don't know. This is one of those things where it's like, I don't want to risk it on something that's that freaking expensive and I'm not going to be able to easily replace. Okay. Recommended voltage for LiFePO is 3.6. Sounds fine to me. Use until you get a different controller or dongle. In the meantime, was my point. Well, I don't want. If I'm going to use it, I'm just going to use it. I'm not going to use it for a little while, then break the battery, and then switch to something else. BMS means no problem. No, BMS means bowel movement syndrome, actually. 27.6 float. That's 3.45 float voltage. The recommended float voltage for a LiFePO. Is there a volt? Are you supposed to float the LiFePO batteries though? I thought you weren't supposed to float them. And if so, if there's no difference, why do they have different settings? Float just means standby, right? But it's gonna hold the float at a high enough voltage that it'll be just slightly too high. And when it's doing that to a lead acid, it works fine to hold it at just a slightly too high voltage because, I don't know, it just works fine. But from what I understand with the lithiums, if you hold it at a slightly too high voltage, the voltage will keep creeping up in the battery until it gets too high. Plus, the higher you charge them to, the shorter lifespan of the battery. All right, so the lithium battery should have like 27 volts is like maximum charge. But this is going to charge it up to 27.6. Yeah, I don't think I can risk it. Yeah, maybe I just get another charge controller and just wait a while and then use that one for something else. Remember to like the video and help Jaimie spread love and knowledge. All right, TDH, how much do you know about this battery stuff? TDH is telling me it's perfect, just use it. Like, are you supposed to float lithium iron phosphate batteries? Like, are you supposed to have a float phase in the charge? Because I was under the impression that you were not. And the float phase will overcharge it slowly. They don't like to be changed to high or discharged to low. Why? Yeah, you don't want to overcharge a lithium or not undercharge it or over discharge it. The discharge is just going to be me watching the voltage meter while I'm driving, and I'll make sure I don't discharge it too far. But the overcharge, yeah, I don't know. Well, actually, you're right, but that info is more about regular lithium, not iron phosphate. What they mean is don't float them at 3.6. You can float them at 3.5. Yeah? Is that true? All right. Maybe I will be able to use this thing. I'm going to have to do a little more research, though. I'm going to do some other internet research. The thing is, like, I feel like I could probably get away with it. But the thing is, it's with something that's kind of expensive, and I don't want to break it, So, all right. I'm going to get out of here and go make some dinner. And maybe I'll check the comments later to see if anyone has any fancy ideas. All right. Hold on. Gansey says don't risk it. Get the correct charge settings, not worth the risk. Yeah, float charging only required for an SLA battery. Based on this, a charge voltage, blah, blah, blah. Okay. I get why you're freaking out. Screw instant gratification. Well, I'm not freaking out. I'm just kind of annoyed. Okay, I'm going to go make some dinner. Everyone have an awesome time. I think I'm not going to risk it because, yeah, it's annoying. It's annoying. Okay, I'll talk to you later.